If you guys are trying to break into the music video game and don't really know exactly what to do and want a few tips, this video is for you. We're going to talk about 5 different ways to make your low budget music video just a little bit better. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, drop me a comment below, let me know what is some of the pet peeves that you have watching other people's music videos or seeing stuff that they do wrong or some things that you think you might do wrong yourself. Anyways, today we're talking about 5 things that you can do to make your low budget music video just a little bit better. If you're a beginner, if you're an intermediate person, if you just make any of these mistakes, these might help make it a little bit better. Now, these are some things that I see in a lot of people's music videos or experienced myself. So, this is just from personal experience, and let's just jump straight into the video. So the first thing is less unnecessary shaking. Now, I see this a lot of times, especially in all those street videos, the ones that go by really quick, just those one-day shoot kind of things, low production, and it's just like you're just throwing the camera around to throw it, and that's not one of the things that is really necessary. I feel like having a stationary shot or even just calculated smoother movements can be a little bit more better, because just unnecessary shaking kind of makes it seem like you're just throwing the camera around just because it's some stuff you've seen in older music videos, older street music videos, and sure, some movements may look really good moving around, but at the same time, if it's just unnecessary, like on certain beats you feel like, oh, I'm just gonna punch in like boom and then pull back right away, and it's just kind of like, sure, it could work, but does it really need to be there? It really depends on the music, it really depends on the shot, it really depends on the vibe, and you really got to get down to it and figure out, hey, is this gonna fit here, or am I just doing it to do it? Now, you could go and build up a whole storyboard, a whole treatment, and kind of figure out, okay, I want this shot to look like this, I want this movement, I want this and that, but at the same time, you don't necessarily need one, especially for a low budget music video. It's kind of just like, you can go on a whim, just know how to move the camera. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more in a specific type of movement later. Just the little bit that unnecessary shaking isn't too good. Another thing is, now this might be a little bit harder for a lot of people because again, it is low budget, but using different lenses is a really good option to kind of change things up, because at the end of the day, if you're using the same lens over and over and over and over and it's just one focal length, I feel like it gets boring, it gets repetitive, and it just doesn't feel good because it's just the same thing over and over and over, and it's nothing special, it's just not like anything really cool. Maybe you want to go pick up a different lens. I feel like there's a lot of different cheaper lenses out there that can give you a lot of options. So like all those Canon pancake lenses, the Canon Nifty 50, and even the Rokinon fisheye lens that I got, it was only $250 and it does wonders. Like, I've added it to a lot of my videos and it changes a lot of perspective and it really adds a lot of personality and a lot of good vibes to the video. So, pick up a fisheye lens, pick up a super wide, pick up a really nice tight lens like an 85 1.4 or 50 1.8, like one of those lenses, something tighter, something wider, just a lot of different focal lengths to kind of add to the video so it feels like there's different perspectives and different views and just different depths of field so that people can really get immersed into it rather than watching the same focal length, the same depth of field, and everything just feels repetitive. Now, I've mentioned this in a lot of my videos, exporting your video in 24 frames per second, because exporting a music video specifically at 60, it is not really good at all. It doesn't look good. There's too much movement in music videos most of the time, and I feel like a 60 FPS music video just doesn't look good. Now, you can shoot it in 60, you can slow it down, do all that stuff, but make sure when you're exporting the video in Premiere, you make it 24. Now, 24 isn't your only option. I feel like 30 is also a really good option. I know a lot of people out there who use 30 frames per second. It is a little bit smoother than the 24 frames per second, so if you're looking for a nice smooth look, that 30 could be good, but honestly, for most of my work, I export in 24, but I've been thinking about doing 30, and we'll see how it goes, but those are the only two you should do, 24 or 30, definitely not 60. Now, let's quickly jump back into what I was talking about when I was talking about movements and unnecessary movements. So pretty much, you want to move to the bars. Now, if you do make an unnecessary movement, that's okay. Just make sure that you play it out along with the bar, because most of the time when you're cutting your music video, you do it to the bars. You do it to the beat, you do it to the kick, you do it to the snares, you do it to whatever instrument, but at the end of the day, you do extend it out. So when you're shooting your music video, make sure if you just push in or pull out, you do one consistent movement, until the next bar. Because if you're cutting it and you see like, oh yeah, I really like this movement right here, and then all of a sudden halfway through the bar, no instrument, nothing, you just change the movement completely and it messes everything up and it doesn't look good. So when you're shooting, make sure you guys at least keep the same movement to the same bar. So like if there's one line, you just keep moving forward, and then once they start changing the line, or you hear a kick or you hear a snare or you hear an 808, you can move it back, or move it to the side, do whatever different movement you want, but just make sure you extend it long enough so that when you go back into that post-processing for coloring and editing and cutting, you are able to keep that same movement and keep those movements that you really like without having them interrupted and just have to have a random like effect to cover up the weird movement or something. It's just one of those things where it keeps it consistent and makes it a lot easier for you and a lot happier for you when you're editing. Lastly guys, overshoot. And when I say overshoot, I mean just overshoot. Shoot so much that you are going to get annoyed later, because I feel like a lot of times when I've edited people's music videos, they've delivered a lot to me that didn't really help out. There's a lot of performance scenes, but there wasn't any B-roll, there wasn't enough to fill in a lot of stuff, so at the end of the day, the video had to get really repetitive, really boring, and just use the same exact clips over and over and over, and I feel like at the end of the day, it just didn't really work out as well as it could have if there was more shots to take. Even when it comes down to commercials or weddings and all of that, overshooting is the best thing you can do, because that way you have options and you aren't scarce of any footage at all. Anyways guys, that is going to be all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below again if you guys have any personal tips, anything you think you guys are doing wrong, or even if there's a type of video you want me to make so I can help you guys learn or explain things a little bit better for you. Let me know in the comments. Keep pushing buttons guys. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.